we were in this together. So, Janae, you got something?
Yes, first I want to say thank you for all of those who have supported us throughout this situation. I do deeply regret the role that I played in the incident that night, but I can say that I am happy that we continue to work through it together, and we are continuing to strengthen our relationship and our marriage and do what we have to do for not only ourselves collectively, but individually, and working on being better parents for Raven and continue to be good role models for the community like we were doing before this. I love Ray, and I know he will continue to prove himself to not only you all, but the community, and I know he will gain your respect back in due time. So thank you, guys.
Hey everybody, TYT Sports, Ben Mankiewicz here. NFL news today, Baltimore Ravens starting running back Ray Rice suspended for 2 games for his role in what was a fairly savage attack on his fiancée earlier in the year. The video taken from surveillance video at a casino showed Rice being incredibly violent with his fiancée.
Greg Hardy and Nicole Holder had been dating for several months. Then on May 13th of this year,
I need police.
a 911 call came in from this Charlotte apartment building.
Okay, what's going on?
Domestic violence. Some girl's in her house upstairs, and I heard it, and I seen it. He is beating her right the now. So get here now.
Neither Hardy nor Holder spoke to Outside the Lines for this story. But in this complaint, Holder said, Hardy picked me up and threw me into the tile tub area in his bathroom. I have bruises from head to toe. Hardy pulled me from the tub by my hair, screaming at me that he was going to kill me. Hardy choked me with both hands around my throat while I was lying on the floor. At one point, Hardy himself called 911 and alleged that Holder was attacking him.
She's literally kicking and scratching, hitting me in the face twice, and I'm trying to stay away from me. Please hurt somebody to help me.
Hardy received a 60-day suspended sentence with 18 months probation, but he appealed the verdict and asked for a jury trial, which is scheduled for November 17th. In the meantime, Hardy continues to play for the Carolina Panthers.
He's 6'4", he's 265 pounds, was found guilty of doing a lot of this stuff, tossing her onto a futon covered with rifles, threw her into a bathtub, flung her around, grabbed her by hair from room to room, did all of this other stuff, reading it from here too, by the way. So all of this stuff that essentially has transpired, essentially, you just weren't allowed to play, but you still were allowed to get paid. Christine Brennan wrote an exceptional column in today's USA Today.
You're quoting from it.
I'm quoting from it right here. Plus, again, the articles that I'm reading online. We all know about the case because we discussed it earlier a few months ago. There's no way around this. If you are the NFL, considering the position that you placed yourself in to begin with the whole Ray Rice fiasco, combined with the fallout from that, which basically provoked you instituting this policy, which essentially acknowledges that regardless of what the law deems, you're allowed to look at the evidence yourself and make a decision based on the best interest of the league. To me, if you basically give out no punishment whatsoever, your policy means absolutely nothing. And obviously this country, a nation filled with women, are going to be in an uproar, and rightfully so about it. I don't know how the NFL can get around this. You have to suspend him, first time 6 games automatically, next time lifetime ban, that kind of thing. This falls under the guise of that policy, and I don't believe that the NFL has a choice.
I realize that's the guise of the new domestic violence policy. I'm looking for this commissioner to go farther, go beyond the 6 games. I would like to see at least 8. I wouldn't balk at 8 or 10 games. Obviously, this is the first test of the new domestic violence policy. And the spotlight and the pressure are now on Roger Goodell to listen to his new female advisors, then make his own decision to come down hard on Greg Hardy. If in fact he wants to send a zero tolerance message, this will not be tolerated any longer, you got to go beyond just the 6 games that are for the first offense. And I realize that Greg Hardy missed all but 1 game last year. I'm not going to qualify that as time served because, as you point out, he got paid $770,000 per game missed. He got his full contract, $770,000, to be on the exempt list for the rest of last year. So I'm not going to qualify that as time served. I'm going to go back to the fact that he was convicted during the first trial, which is just a bench trial. And that judge believed his accuser and every word, I'm assuming, of her description of what he did to her. And for me, if you're going to believe this, and this judge certainly bought it, it is beyond Ray Rice. It is bruises from head to toe. It is being strangled while Greg Hardy is threatening to kill her. And at one point she told the judge, I just told him, go ahead and kill me. And then to be flung onto a couch that is filled with assault rifles and shotguns? Really? Well, to me, this is a little, as bad as Ray Rice was, this is a little beyond Ray Rice. So now that we know that, and now that we know that, unfortunately, to me, this is just my opinion, apparently and unfortunately, she has agreed to a civil settlement with Greg Hardy, so she refused to show up for the jury trial that under North Carolina law he was able to ask for. That was his appeal. I want a jury trial. So she did not show yesterday for the jury trial. And again, the DA said he's under the impression he has reliable evidence that she took a settlement from him, a civil settlement. Okay, given all that, I don't know why Roger Goodell should hesitate right now. They have had all these months to follow this very closely, to read the transcripts from the bench trial. I don't know what more needs to be done in the way of investigation here. I hope Roger Goodell will act quickly. 6 games would have to be, for me, a minimum. I would like to see 8, which would be half the year. 10 or 12 would not bother me one bit, because this is the test case, and you need to send a strong message. This will no longer be tolerated.
Domestic violence has no place in sports or the world.